All right, let's dive right into the chilling world of Josh Malerman's novel, BirdBox. This is a story that takes our most basic sense, our sight, and flips it, turns it into a weapon. Survival here depends on one simple, absolutely terrifying rule. Don't open your eyes.
So we're going to start with this desperate thought from a mother, a thought that really just frames this impossible choice at the very heart of the story. This isn't just about the physical act of staying alive. It's about questioning whether the life you're fighting so hard for has any meaning left at all when the entire world has been plunged into darkness.
And we're dropping right into the action, into the terrifying present, where that single unbreakable rule governs every single second of their lives. Don't open your eyes.
The tension here is just, wow, you can feel it. Imagine spending 4 years locked away inside a house, never once seeing the outside world. And now, this 20-mile journey down a river you can't see, completely blindfolded, this isn't just a trip. It is a desperate, last-ditch gamble for any kind of future.
So these are Mallory's instructions to her 4-year-old kids. I mean, just think about that for a second. At an age where they should be learning colors and looking at picture books, they're being trained in auditory surveillance. Her words aren't just rules, okay? They are the absolute unbending laws of survival in this new world. So you're probably asking, how on earth did the world get like this? Well, the story of the boat actually begins back at the house. So let's rewind 5 years, back to a time before the blindfolds, a time when seeing wasn't a death sentence. It started the way these things always seem to, as something far away. Just a weird story on the news that's happening to other people. But the escalation was terrifyingly fast. What started as strange reports quickly became a global map just dotted with hundreds of red faces, and each one marked a city that was lost to this madness. The world started calling it the problem. It's this unseen, unknown entity that, as soon as you look at it, drives you to immediate, violent suicide. And the real horror of it all? No one has any idea what they look like. Are they giants? Are they microscopic? That complete ambiguity is exactly what makes them so terrifying. For Mallory, this global problem becomes deeply, horribly personal when her own sister Shannon just looks out the window and is instantly gone, lost to the madness. Now, Mallory is pregnant, she's all alone, and she's terrified. She's forced to run, and her only shred of hope comes from a tiny classified ad she finds in a newspaper, promising a safe house.
And this brings us to the safe house in Riverbridge. It's here that a handful of total strangers are sealed off from the world, trying to build some semblance of a new life in a house they can literally never leave.
Inside, Mallory finds this, it's a pressure cooker of personalities. You've got Tom, he's the hopeful leader trying to hold everyone together, and then he's clashing with Don, the cynic, who's basically convinced they're all doomed. It's like this tiny microcosm of humanity, a real study in how different people cope when the world completely ends.
Their greatest innovation, their one real piece of hope against the unseen, comes from a simple cardboard box. Tom and Jules come back from a supply run, not just with food, but with birds, and their frantic chirping becomes this incredible early warning system, alerting the house whenever one of the creatures is nearby. But as they were about to find out, the real danger wasn't just what was lurking outside the walls. It was the terrifying potential for the monster to already be inside with them. So the arrival of this guy, Gary, he's a smooth-talking stranger with this really harrowing story. It completely shifts the dynamic in the house. He talks about a man named Frank who is somehow immune to the madness and believed the creatures were beautiful. And this story, it plants a new, much more insidious kind of fear in everyone.
And then, the horrifying truth comes out. In a hidden notebook, Mallory discovers Gary isn't a victim. He believes the creatures are beautiful, that the real monsters are human. He thinks some people don't go mad when they see them. No, they become enlightened. Gary didn't escape a madman. He's a disciple.
And this is just a brilliant way to show the constant peril they're in. Because right as we learn about the human monster from the house's past, we cut back to the river in the present, and Mallory and the children realize they are being followed. The threat is always there, and it comes in many, many forms. Okay, this is the crucial point. This is where those two timelines, the fragile safety of the house and that desperate journey on the river, are about to violently crash into each other. So, just as Mallory and Olympia go into labor, Gary makes his move. He rips the covers off the windows, exposing everyone inside to the things outside. It is absolute chaos. Olympia sees one of them, and she's gone. The housemates fall, one by one, leaving Mallory totally alone to protect not only her own newborn baby, but Olympia's as well.
Years later, at the climax of her journey on the river, that same madness just consumes the natural world. As the creatures pass over them, the birds in the trees go insane. They start slaughtering one another, raining down on the boat in this horrifying cascade of death.
Just when she thinks she's finally reached her destination, the journey's final trial appears. Her boat is stopped cold in the water. One of the creatures itself is right there beside them, reaching out, physically trying to rip her blindfold off, testing her only defense.
After 4.5 years of pure survival, of living in total darkness and constant fear, the grueling journey on the river finally, somehow, impossibly reaches its end.
Inside a sanctuary, Mallory and the children hear words that are completely alien to them. For the first time in their entire lives, these kids are told that they can look. The old rules, the only rules they've ever known, no longer apply.
And this is the final, beautiful, powerful irony of the entire story. Their safe haven, their paradise, is a community of people who were blind long before the world ended. Their perceived disability in the old world became their ultimate, life-saving strength in the new one. And here, safe at last, Mallory performs a final act of hope. She gives the children names, honoring the friends she lost along the way, Tom and Olympia. It's this profound shift, you know? She's no longer just keeping them alive, she's finally preparing them to actually live. So the story closes, but it leaves us with this haunting question. Mallory saved their lives, but at what cost? Remember, she worried she was saving them for a life that wasn't even worth living. It really forces us to ask ourselves, what is the true price of survival? And what does it really truly mean to live?